All right, guys, so we are back with some MMA talk. You know what I'm saying? I bounced between the UFC, YouTube boxing. We're back with some UFC talk today because this is my baby. I'm not letting MMA go anytime soon. It's what I started the channel with. I'm going to continue doing it. So we're back here today to talk about tomorrow's card, UFC Fight Night Vegas in the Apex. And boy, oh boy, do we have some fights on this card. We're only going to predict for you today the main event and the co-main event. But this thing's loaded. You have, even on the prelim card, you have guys like Anthony Pettis, former champion. You have Carl Roberson, really good. You head over to the main card, you have Greg Hardy. You have Marlon Moraes, who just competed for a title not that long ago. Rob Font, Chaos Williams, after his 2 obliteration knockouts. Michael Pereira, he's taking on Chaos. That fight's crazy. And then you come to the co-main event, Jose Aldo, Marlon Vera, and the main event, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Geoff Hands of Steel Neal. My God. But we're going to focus on the main event in this video, Stephen Thompson, Geoff Neal. And man, oh man, what a fight. And you're talking about a guy in Geoff Neal that a lot of people are not talking about at 170 pounds. He hasn't fought in over a year now, but he was surging when he was active. It's unfortunate, 2020, there have been fighters that have kind of fallen through the cracks here, and you hear about the guys like Kevin Holland and Khamzat Chimaev and guys that have taken fight after fight after fight. And you can't really fault Geoff Neal for not having a bout. He had one canceled against Neil Magny. I would have loved to have seen that. That was in August. But here we are. Nevertheless, here we are. And he is on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fight win streak. His last being the head kick and the TKO punches that put Mike Perry out. And you guys know I'm a big Mike Perry fan. But Geoff Neal was just on a different level that night, and he's become one of these guys that, again, with a win over Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and his ability to strike, and he's very fast, very technical, very strong at 170 pounds. With a win over a guy like Stephen Thompson, we're talking top 10, we're talking top 5. It is kind of jumbled at 170 as to who's getting the shot next after Gilbert Burns. You have some guys there. You have Colby Covington, but we're assuming that Colby Covington's going to get matched up with Jorge Masvidal. Geoff Neal, if he could get a couple of wins here in the latter part of 2020 and early 2021, we could see him rise through those ranks and possibly secure some form of a number 1 contenders bout or title shot by the latter part of 2021. I mean, he's right there. His skills have always been right there. Let's not forget about Leon Edwards, by the way. Leon Edwards is still right there, laying in wait. He's had a terrible 2020 as well. I'm not playing matchmaker, but if I was, let's say Geoff Neal gets through Stephen Thompson, Leon Edwards is sitting right there. That's a hell of a number 1 contenders fight. And that would be if they don't want to make Leon Edwards versus Chimaev still, which if they do, I'm down for that too. So Dana, either one. Now, while I'm singing the praises of Geoff Neal, and he is very worthy of that, we do have another side of the equation, and that's Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And Stephen Thompson's only won 1 of his last 3 fights. He's always right there in that top 5, top 10 contention. And as you saw in his last fight against Vicente Luque, he didn't just outclass him. He also showed the difference between just striking and high-level elite, precise striking. There was no dogfighting out of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Out of Luque, for sure, stand there in the pocket, trade. Stephen wasn't doing that. He was coming in, landing his shots, staying out of range, not being touched. I mean, the strike differential, 138 to 77 with 1 knockdown, precise. And we've always known he's one of the better strikers, if not the best striker in MMA. George St. Pierre, for the longest time, said Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is the best striker I've ever seen. Now, he's getting up there in age as well. You're talking about a guy that's 37 years old, and that is that age when you start to see some diminishing returns, and we're going to see if it still can click, right? He mentally is always going to be in the fight, but can he relay that to the physical abilities as quickly as he has been able to for the longest period of time, or do we start to see that diminish a little bit? Because, again, you have a guy that's not only a precise striker on the other side, but he comes with devastating power. Geoff Neal hits you, you fall. And I don't want people to get hung up on the fact that, yes, Geoff Neal does have power, but it's the technical ability, the kicks, low to high, his ability to mix it up with the hands as well. I mean, what he did to Mike Perry was so easy, and really no one's done that to Mike Perry. No one's gotten Mike Perry out of there that quickly with strikes. Now, Mike Perry got lulled into the trap of the armbar from Cowboy, but it wasn't like Cowboy pieced him up and got him out there in the first round. This was something, Geoff Neal did it because we've seen it's really hard to finish Mike Perry, especially early on. It was damn impressive. The difference in this fight, to me, is going to be the angles and timing of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Can he still do it like he's been doing it for the longest period of time, or do we start to see this younger class of fighters start to rise up, just like we saw with Tony Ferguson, like we've seen with veterans in the past, and the veterans start to lower themselves to meet that level where we start to see that passing of the torch and the dualities of the journeys of the two fighters. I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson still has it. I do think Geoff Neal, when I say he has forward pressure, it's very patient. It's very controlled. He's not just throwing shots, running forward, brawl for all. If I hit you, awesome. If you hit me, I'm going out. No, it's controlled. It's patient. He's standing in front of you. He's picking his shots. Stephen Thompson is going to have to find ways to cut those angles using those different karate kind of switch stance styles. I love the way he switches stances and can use both hands as a lead or rear hand, and they both pack power. You saw him do it to Jorge Masvidal. He dropped Vicente Luque the same way. If he can do those things, he can make it a tough night on Geoff Neal. It's going to be who's striking is better prepared for the other, because both guys are very crisp, both guys are very technical, but who is better prepared for the opponent? Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, hard to prepare for. Geoff Neal, hard to prepare for. It's so hard to pick because you have two guys that their styles aren't necessarily similar, but their approach to fighting is, and that they both utilize very crisp technical striking. I feel like youth is going to be a factor, and I feel like it always is a factor, whether it's youthful exuberance and a guy just doesn't have all the tools yet, and the veteran gets the jump on him that he might not get in a couple of years, or that the youth catches up to an older veteran that doesn't move as quickly, that doesn't necessarily have the same correlation from mind to body that he used to. And I think Geoff Neal in this case gets the jump on Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And we've seen that Stephen's got a chin. I mean, Tyron Woodley couldn't put him down in that first fight and keep him there. Anthony Pettis put him down. He hit him with a big-time shot, one that, again, Wonderboy didn't see, and I think it's going to be something similar from Geoff Neal. I'll say third-round TKO, but it's going to be a very competitive, very fun, very, very precise and analytical fight from both guys. I'm really excited to see the chess match from two high-level strikers. But at the end of the day, I'm going to say that the hands of steel produce a third-round TKO for Geoff Neal.